Hey guys, what's up? It's Shla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Shla. And today, I don't have too much to report. Um, I still think like my no, I feel like I'm waking up better. I think my prediction about what I said has been mostly true. Um, at least so far. But it wasn't as good. Like last week, I had these like random days where I was like up. I haven't been like super up, but um, yeah, I mean things have been better. I'm not really in here as early as I would like to be though for an early day. And yeah, I mean even thinking about it, I'm not sure how I feel about the early Tuesday thing. I don't know. We'll have to kind of see how that goes and stuff, but really, I kind of wonder if I should just only do 2 late days every week, because really, um, I'm trying to think. Yeah, like it's a lot. It's a lot of work to have those like 3 12-hour shifts a week, and I really would only have to do two. But it's an extra. I mean, it's got to be an extra, um, like $50 or something like that at least. I don't even think it's probably like an extra. Yeah, no, that was actually a decent shot in the dark. I want to say it's like an extra $60 after taxes or something like that. That's just kind of like a rough shot in the dark. I don't think I'm too far off, but like I don't know. To me, that seems kind of worth it. I mean, you can like that's getting to the point where that's like a decent amount of money. An extra $60 every 2 weeks is I feel like that's like stacks up after a while. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been thinking more about balancing between lifestyle and hours more. Like, I mean, I should probably keep trying to muscle through it, but because I'm gonna keep trying to muscle through it, but I'm saying I really would not be surprised if one of these days I just hit some type of breaking point and it's just like, I just can't do it anymore. And I only do like, like I said, it would probably be just 2 late days a week and then maybe even just 1 late day a week, honestly. I don't even, you know what I mean? That's totally on the table too. But yeah, like I said, it's fortunate. It's fortunate I'm in this situation and just hope it lasts, but I don't know what my fate, my fate has in front of me. I don't really know where I'm supposed to be going. Maybe being comfortable is not really the right idea. I'm not sure about that. So, I'm not really sure. I guess so. I slept very well last night. I did sleep very well. I got 7.5. They gave me a 91 sleep score, so that's good. I can kind of tell as well. I think I can kind of tell. You know. Um. Yeah, I don't know. I guess again, like I said, life's going pretty good, but I'm really angry about like the microphone situation because I'm having to Like, there's just not really any good listings, and honestly, I probably could have picked up a good listing for at least the microphone. I just didn't feel like getting it because then for a while, for some reason, I just like pushed it out of my spending list. Cause I guess I was buying a lot of other stuff or something, but it was kind of stupid because I could have at least gotten the microphone I wanted, but I just didn't. And it's just a shame, you know, because they're probably I had it on my like on my radar for months. You know, I'm sure there was like a really good deal for one at some point, and I just didn't get it. Like it's just really a shame. I'm not really sure why I operated like that, but you know, I'm not really sure what can be done about it now. So, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're in some kind of a home stretch because I think, you know, financially and physically and stuff, I think once we get through, well, it's February now. I'd probably want to say like April. I think I'll be pretty happy. Once we're through April, maybe even May. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it might take until May, sadly. Then I'll finally have like recovered from the insane spree that I've been on this whole time, and we can start to get back on the saving grind. And I don't really know how that's going to work because I'm so high off the dopamine of buying things that, you know, I feel like it's going to be difficult for me to wean off that. But, you know, I don't. Oh, what can you do, really? What can you do? Well, I guess what I feel like talking about now, I know I've mentioned it before, but I feel like a lot of times, I don't know if it's a mixture of two of these factors, because it may be a mixture of both, but it's basically how my, like, I feel like communication and presentation is my strong suit. And I mean, I say that with like an immediate caveat because a lot of people don't really think I take care of my appearance as much as I do. Like, I don't do anything with my hair, and I kind of have like a rougher look to me in that regard, in that sense. But in terms of presentation, in terms of how I speak and how I come across, I think people are usually impressed. I think it's more of a quantity thing than a quality. But again, that's kind of my like self conscious side kind of being like, you know, thinking to myself, like, are you really good? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a little bit of a doubter about things, but from what I gather, like, it actually was something that limited how much help I got, and in general, like, continues to, because it's the way that I say things and present things. It it's like it's very good, like it's very polished. I can rationalize things very well, which again, and I see it in people a lot, their rationalization for things is very poor. Um, and you know, I get an argument. People try to make comparisons that like don't really make that much sense and things like that. And it's like, I'm having to say, like, that is not a good comparison. Like, and maybe my standards are high for like comparison usage in an argument, but it's still kind of frustrating, you know. I mean, I guess it's also, again, points to how, like, even doing this show, like, I do think it's very unusual the amount of things I do have to say. I think, like, a lot of people, it probably does deserve recognition. Like, as much as I want to feel like, you know, I'm not really better than other people, and again, I have that, like, doubting kind of nature about myself, like, it's probably something that deserves credit and acknowledgement. Even just 5 days a week recording in two over half-hour segments. I mean, that's like an hour a day, 5 days a week of recording. I don't think most people are doing that. That it's like not their career, you know, recorded talking. And I mean, in addition to that, I do talking outside of that too. It's not like, you know, I don't keep up with friends if I have the chance or anything like that, or it's not like I'm not texting a lot on top of that. And I've still said before, like, texting, I mean, like, well, not just texting, but calling or texting another person, it definitely does make things much easier. You know, like, it is harder to talk while I'm alone. But I guess I do this. I mean, there's two reasons. There's two reasons why I do the show. I've explained both of them before. It's basically it's so I can get a lot of my more controversial thoughts and ideas out. That's like first and foremost. And then, yeah, because it's like a lot of times when I talk to people, I feel like I have to mask. So on this show, I don't have to mask, and so that's nice. But for me, I guess it's just not the same as actually talking to a person. I would assume a lot of people are similar. Honestly, they have like a similar sentiment. And it's again where I'm going to assume that I deserve some credit because for most people, like, especially nowadays and what I see, people are just like incredibly lazy to do like anything. You know, like if you told someone, "Hey, why don't you, you know, record on your car rides to and from work?" Like, they're just not going to want to do it, especially because there's nobody there to interact with. Like, it's I just really noticed that about people. I really noticed that about people. Like, really, I think more than ever, people are really taking like the low road with things. They're really taking the easy route. Um, and I guess I did too for a while. But for me, maybe I was just rationalizing my laziness, but there was like a genuine fear about it that I think some people, I would assume most people aren't really afraid as much as they're just being lazy. I really do think that's like the end of it because um yeah, I don't know, and I don't know that that's so much as a diss to people as it is a diss to the environments we're in. Because, of course, when you have environments like this, it's like, it's gonna cause, like, laziness. Like, I really think I have seen it in people. Like, the average person now, compared to, let's say, like, almost 10 years ago, not quite, like, even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, although it really started about 5 years ago, because they're swamped and they really swamp themselves with, you know, different things like short form content. I know we talk about this a lot. Like, you're just not going to have extra energy to do stuff because the short form content, it's draining. You know, it's draining for your brain, and you're just not going to have like the extra energy to do a bunch of extra stuff on top of that. Now, some people do. There's still, because again, obviously humans are operating on like a pretty wide spectrum in terms of like energy level and reaction to stimuli, but for the most part, our lives have become so efficient where it's like, when you're bored, you have your phone, and your phone provides such good things. And so you just always go to, like, right? Like, it's like very efficient. We've made everything efficient. And, if you're hungry on the way to work, there's a place to pick up food fast. Like it's like Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's, like a lot of these fast food places, boom. So we've made everything very efficient and convenient, but towards pleasure, like towards like hedonistic pursuits, which, you know, uh, inevitably become meaningless because you just get accustomed to the routine, and then now you're just living a wasteful routine that isn't efficient. At first it was addicting and it felt good. Now it's just addicting and it's like normal, and you'll throw a fit if for some reason the coffee machine is broken at McDonald's. Now you're going to throw a fit, right? Because like now you can't get your coffee. I meant to say coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, but then I remember they do also. I'm pretty sure they also make coffee at McDonald's. So, um, and so where was I getting at with that? Hmm. Hmm. I think, yeah, it's gonna be kind of bad with when I need to get gas because I'm staying late tomorrow and I wanted to try to go after work, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to go after work but I don't think I'm gonna last through the week, especially not like until Monday night. Yeah, I don't think I will. I think my prediction is I'd have to go Thursday. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but it's not looking good. Anyways, yeah, sorry that totally ruined the conversation. My fault. I don't remember what I was getting at. I just remembered the thing I wanted to mention about my gas, which I don't really I don't need to mention. I don't need to mention, but I just wanted to mention. But the timing was kind of bad. Oh yeah, we're talking about something with like efficiency. Yeah. And then now you get to the point where like if your loop is disturbed, then you get upset. And the problem is like my loop that I guess everybody has these loops created, even though some are harder to detect than others because some people it's like easy. It's like they go to Dunkin' Donuts every day, right? And that's like a part of their loop, it's a part of their routine. But other people have more complicated patterns to observe, you know? Maybe some days they go to Dunkin', some days they go to Starbucks, maybe some days they go to McDonald's, and maybe some days they don't go anywhere. And so you would assume that that person doesn't have a loop, but there is still like a pattern being presented. It is just not as evident, right? So that's kind of something I think to be mindful of because it's just like, just because a person does not have an evident pattern on the surface, that doesn't mean that there isn't a pattern somewhere there. You know what I mean? Like it's, yeah, there's still a pattern. Um, so I think that's interesting to think about because a lot of people like would just look at some people's routines and think that's random. That's not, but I still think everybody kind of has like loops. Like they have like, I mean, they get tired of things. Usually people get tired of things, but they still have like a loose loop. Maybe it's not like a closed loop. Maybe it's like an open loop, and they still have it. It's still present. It's still deterministic over how they're going to act and whatnot. Um, so yeah, it's just interesting to think about. Anyways, sorry, I'm like losing. It's like I'm already getting tired of talking about it now. That's really sad. Um, it's basically everybody has these comfort loops, and the problem is when you set yourself up for such a high standard, like you don't really end up getting anywhere. Like you're typically not going to be, well, let's not say you're not going to be happier, because there probably is a correlation with somebody who can afford to go to Dunkin' Donuts every day versus somebody who can't. Although it's like at the same time, I mean, I'm fine with. I've actually never gotten any food out like the whole time I've worked, and it's not like I'm unhappy as a result of that. But then again, it's very possible because human needs fall on a spectrum. Some people, it would probably bring them like this amazing joy to get a coffee or get a donut from a place. Like it would make them feel, good and happy. And it would mean a lot to them. Now, to me, it wouldn't really mean that much. So it's like, from my standpoint, I figure, like, oh, well, what's the point? What's the point of somebody acting like that? You just shouldn't do it because it's like a temporary thing or whatever. But I guess that is again, the thing with humans. They have a pretty severe subjectivity to things. So it's like, I don't know, I guess to some people it just really matters for them to get that food. But for me, like I think it not only does it not, but I'm thinking about the flaws with restaurants. I'm thinking about how we probably shouldn't have we probably shouldn't have restaurants. Like they're extremely wasteful. They're more wasteful than food stores a lot of the time. They're very costly. They take up a lot of real estate that could have been made into housing. Because land is going to be pretty valuable at this rate. So it's very inefficient. And if we could just get over the whole restaurant idea, then that would be like a good thing. But again, the problem that I think is that most people just can't imagine thinking of it in that way, because I kind of get the hunch that people who eat out are people who are just going to do it like regardless. Like I think there's a lot of people who are in poverty who still eat out. If anything, there's probably a correlation there. I mean, it's just something that people are gravitated to. And personally, I don't get it because, again, by the time you like drive to the place, um, you've already like wasted any fast food advantage that exists. I mean, again, usually people do it while they're already out. So I guess that's like the thing. Um Yeah, like it's while they're already out and about. But I do think a lot of people would end up just being like, oh, hey, I'm gonna go drive to McDonald's. And that's just like what they're gonna do. Um, and then again, it negates the purpose of it being fast food because now it's like actually slow. Like if you had just effectively purchased the food supplies at your house first, you would have you would have been able to make food faster than, I mean, you're losing because time is money too. I guess for some people they have so much money it doesn't matter, but unless you're getting stuff like delivered to you, which I guess a lot of people do that. So, but the problem is it's probably wildly inefficient from a financial standpoint. Like the amount of money it costs, like if you wanted something DoorDash to your house as opposed to making it, it's probably not worth how much you make in terms of your time. Like it's probably not unless you're excessively rich. I mean, it's obviously possible. Like some people have like a higher income and they would be able to do that. But you know. Yeah, like some people have a higher income, so they can just kind of do whatever they want. But I've talked before about how that's not really how the world should work. Like I think, well, it's trick. I mean, again, ignoring the fact that you do have to like incentivize people for certain um like better careers, obviously, because you can't just have like everybody working like easy jobs. Assuming that that isn't the case or it isn't a problem, like you would kind of want everybody's salary to be at a point where it's not too high, because if you make someone's salary too high, they're likely to start to make like, I guess, inefficient, and I almost would call it like bad karma. It's kind of like a low karmic choice to be like, you know, paying somebody else to deliver you food. Like it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, I know nobody really like thinks about it that deeply because it's just like a norm, but yeah, I think it's like a relevant it's a relevant point because you are like kind of engaging in this like master servant kind of thing and like making somebody else kind of do your dirty work almost. And it's like, I don't know, I'm just very aware of that kind of stuff because it's like I don't know if that's really moral. Like I know a lot of people would just like chalk it off like pretty like, you know, chill. Like they'd be like, "No, well, the guy doing the DoorDash is just he's trying to make money too, and it's no biggie." Like I think a lot of people would just um, kind of brush it aside like that. And like it's somewhat of a fair point, but I still like I think we should be trying to make it so that the economy is just like a better place to reside in. And I've talked about it before. I mean, if people saved money instead of spending it on fast food or McDonald's, like there's a lot of other things and industries the money could fund and go to. I mean, you could have more artists, more people who are like artists and able to do art full time. I mean, let's say You know, instead of getting Dunkin' Donuts like twice or three times a month, somebody subscribes to my show for $10 a month. You see what I'm saying? And then it's like now I'm able to do something that I love because somebody's giving me the freedom to do so. Whereas, like, if you're supporting fast food, you're supporting like a system and an energy that people hate. I mean, nobody wants to work there. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a good vibe. It's really, I mean, some people probably are happy with it, but you know, it's a dark, I think it's like a dark thing, and we have to think about how can we change society to eliminate those jobs, but of course, like, still give people another option, because obviously at this point those food service jobs are like dominant just because of I think how blind people are, and just how like obsessed and addictive people are to going to restaurants and getting food and stuff like that. I mean, that's like such a core thing for like anybody. And yeah, it's just like, I don't know, I think it's pretty think it's pretty frustrating to think about that, because I mean, maybe there are still some people that really like working in food service, and of course that's fine, but I think there's so many people who work it, and it is not really anybody's dream job. Like, it's not. You know, it's just not. It's not really a good job, and we don't have to have those jobs. I mean, that money could be cycled again. It could be towards somebody making art, these like higher level things. I mean, even beyond art, it could be other stuff too, you know. But I'm just using that as a quick example because I think it kind of showcases now how it's like, yeah, I mean, people, they complain about the economy, but it's also like where people's values are, you know, where are people putting their money? A lot of this stuff, it is, of course, there's problems with the system. I'm completely in agreement with that. Like, it's not necessarily our fault or our job. Like, we can't just fix a lot of these things. We can't. So, you know, that's all like fair and true, but the thing is, even within that, like, we're not really putting our money in the right place, you know. And I think a lot of people don't even think about it or understand this stuff, how it could be like, you know, karmically speaking, we're really not putting our, we're not using the money or the energy in the right way. You know, are we really, you know, when you buy something, is it causing good energy in the world, or is it supporting this perpetuating system that like is obviously not great for people, you know? Like, what is it doing when you buy something? Are you, you know, gambling and obviously perpetuating like a bad part of society? That's like a pretty severe example. um Buying cigarettes, you know, and like supporting that industry and all that kind of comes with that. I probably just had some of the best light luck I've had in like a long time. I don't really think I've had good light luck in a while. Honestly, I don't think I have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this was like really good light luck. It probably is going to end up getting me to work like, you know, way sooner than I would have otherwise. So that's kind of fortunate. Pretty fortunate. Anyways, I think that it's been schla, and now it's time to buy schla. So, see you schla.